Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So this video is actually a part of our National Scrapbooking Day challenges. You have the whole month of May to work on it. They're due by May 31st, and this is going to be part of the Make It Pop with Gina. This was challenge number 15, and this is going to be just about my take on it. And Gina's a card maker, and I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to do a card too. So I have the Vicky Boutin stamp set that came with the color study, and I'm trying to show you better, like on her product. It's very artful, but sometimes it's hard to see the different stamps. And for this particular card, I'm just changing out one of the stamps that I used in sort of like my test card, which I wind up doing in one of our groups overnight. I worked on it before I left because I was trying to do more of the challenges this time around than I did the last time around. And that's my goal. Every time is just to do hopefully more than what I did before. So I put some tape on the back of these 3 different squares. And I'm creating basically layers. So normally my layers are about 1/8 of an inch. And this time I wanted to make sure I had at least 1/4 of an inch. And I was just showing you, this is an old foam pad that I got from Stampin' Up a long time ago. And I still use it at times when I'm just using clear stamps on blocks, because it does help you get a crisper image. I could have used a Misty, but for the purpose of this video, I already had them on the block itself, and it was just easier to continue doing that. So the very first thing I did was stamp right in the center of the card, as center as I could get it. And then as I go, I'm going to be basically covering each flower or each item that I stamp. I'm going to be covering in the black embossing powder, so that way I can see where I am. Because whenever you stamp with Versamark, it's very hard to see. And I just want to make sure that I'm not overlapping or anything like that, because I don't want to overlap except for the areas that I choose, which is where our 3 layers are, because we're going to be doing a little dimensional separation, and it's going to have a really nice effect. So make sure, if you're not already a member of my little scrapbook store, head on over to Facebook and definitely check them out. They have a private group, an online crop group that's free. You just have to sign up. And we had so many challenges that first weekend in May. I want to say it's 19 challenges, and then the 20th challenge is I did them all. So if you're able to get them all done by May 31st, you can be entered into basically a raffle for like $50. And that's a win-win. You get lots of crafting done, and you get a chance to win a $50 gift card to my little scrapbook store. So now that I got the 4 flowers stamped, or really 5 because I forgot about the center, I'm just going to heat these up, because I want to make sure that I don't by accident brush the powder and mess up the flower. It's very important that these are complete and done, because then we're going to go back and stamp some more. Now on the first card I want to say after I did the heat embossing, I took the Versaclear Nocturnal ink, and I stamped the other image, my more solid images. And I think with this one, I think I wind up doing more of the Versamark. We're going to see here. Oh, no, I did do it right. Okay. So basically the last thing I'm doing is I wanted a separate flower so that I could color it and fussy cut it out, so that way my pop of color would be the one flower right in the center. And then everything would be black and white around it, because that was really the whole pop of color, was that you would have mostly black and white and then one color theme. So like for the scrapbookers out there, you could do, like a white base, add black and white elements, and then your photo could be the color pop. You can do reverse, have the photo be black and white using black and white papers, and then like some of your embellishments, pick a color and have it pop. There's so many different ways you could really do this challenge. Also, make it a card, So a lot of these challenges are really perfect for both card makers and scrapbookers. And that's one of the benefits of this little community that we all share in. Okay, so I brought out an oldie but goodie. I have the real brush markers from Zig. And in coloring this, I just kept it really simple. I just colored it all one. I wasn't doing any layers or anything. But it just reminded me, I do love these markers. It feels like you're just brushing in watercolor. It's hard to explain. Okay, so now I'm going to take some of the solid stamps. I have some stars that I'm going to stamp around, and then I'm also going to wind up stamping a leaf image. And I tried to stamp mostly in 3s. I do have some elements that I think I stamp in 4s. Okay, so here is the leaf pattern. And most of these I picked because they're solid, So the only thing that's going to be colored in is the one flower, which is going to be right in the center. And I'm trying to make sure that I twist and turn and have the leaf pattern going in different directions. And sometimes I stamp over the edge of the paper and it gets on my mat. It's okay. It'll dry or it'll get wiped off. I'm not worried about it. Now I'm going to do some of the line stars. I did 3 of those, and that is it. So off camera, I am going to fussy cut my flower, which is right here. And it's not something that I want to do on camera, because let me tell you, it's not a very pretty process. It's quite annoying fussy cutting on camera. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and tape up our image and add a little bit of wet glue, so that way it's gives me a little bit of wiggle time. And I almost messed up because I was trying to keep it in a very specific direction, so that way as I start to layer the layers it'll create sort of like a 3D effect. So you can make this as high or low as you want. I have a roll of foam tape that I'm just going to use basically 3 strips of it and create my dimension that way. And then I'm just making sure I'm holding it in the right direction. And there it is. Okay, so now we're going to take the backing off and then lay this back down, trying to line it up without lining it up, because there's no exact line. You just have to kind of put it in an area where it looks like it's completing the image that we stamped. That's what's so cool about this. And then when you see it all done and you you turn it, it just gives it a really cool 3D effect. I like it. I like how it turned out. I forgot about this technique. And that's the thing. It's so crazy how so many people were doing this with layers and, then spacing it. And it's something that I remember and then I forgot about. And then somehow it just popped into my brain and I was like, this would be perfect. I can do a black and white card, have my flower be a really pretty pink right in the center, and that would be where I would put my sentiment, so that way it's being, is being focused, is being stand out. So for the flower, I am going to put some foam strips all over the back. And while I'm doing that, I am going to tell you that this particular card I decided to do in top folding. The one I did prior, which I will bring back over into the frame later, I did a side folding card. And the size of the card that we're doing is an A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going around just cutting little pieces and putting them right on the ends of the flowers and going all the way around. So that way it's nice and even and all the same height when we attach it to the card. And then we just go and peel all those little backings off. So while I'm doing this part, if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. And then if you hit the little bell, you'll get notified whenever I upload new content or go live on this channel. And I've been doing a few more lives each month. This month I have 2. For a while now, I've been doing just 1 a month, just trying to get basically my feet wet and get comfortable with it. Okay, so now that we have attached our flower to the card, I'm now going to put little pieces of foam the same size on either side so that it'll nestle right in between the foam tape. And then once I've trimmed it down, I'm just going to put a little bit of wet glue right in the center so that way it's nice and even. Boop, boop. All right. And sometimes when you leave it open a little bit, you do have to just kind of put the pin back in on your wet glue. It opens it right back up and the glue starts flowing again. And there's our sentiment. And that foam tape really gives you a lot of dimension. And that's the tops. And then this one's going to be the side fold. Isn't that cool? Now, I will say this. This is probably not a card to mail because it is super thick, okay? So if it has to go through a machine, you're going to have to pay extra money for sure. So this would be a card that I would definitely want to hand deliver to somebody or just not really send it off at all because I just can't guarantee you're not going to get charged extra. Okay, you guys, so thanks again for joining me. Please check out my little scrapbook store. If you don't have Facebook or you're not on Facebook, you can always go to their website, which I will try and make sure to have linked below, and join in on the challenges. This is a great way whenever you're in a rut to help get you out of it. And the designers are all there, I should say, if you have any questions along the way. Thanks again, you guys, and I hope you have a great day.